Blobfish Studios presents a Sonoma Selpa snippet. Starring Sheri Roberge, the one and only ace of SEIS.
Hi, my name's Sheri Roberge, and I'm the data specialist with Sonoma County and Sonoma County Charter SELPAs. In this snippet, I'll show you how to use conditional formatting in Excel to compare two reports. This is how we'll find whether or not all the students are included in both. Let's get started. So here's a report that I downloaded from CalPads. I downloaded it in a CSV format. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is to save it as an Excel workbook. That way, as we do all these functions in Excel, they will save. It won't save as a CSV file. So first, I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to put it in between the columns and the rows in this small little square here. And I'm going to double click. It highlights the entire document. And then I'm going to move my cursor between any of the columns at the top, so between any of the two letters till I have that crossbow, and then I'm going to double click. This auto adjusts the column width. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move the SSID columns to the last column. Now the reason I'm doing this is to compare data. I need to have the same item that I'm comparing in the same column. So first, I'm going to put my cursor over the column F that has the SSID numbers, and then I'm going to click with my mouse so the whole column is highlighted. Then on the right side of my mouse, I'm going to click and select Cut. I'm then going to put my cursor into one cell, the F1 cell, and on my keyboard, I'm going to select the Control button, and I'm going to hold it down while I then click on the arrow that points to the right. This will take me to the very last cell on my document. I'm going to go over one more. So I'm over here, there's nothing in the cell, and this is where I want to put those SSID numbers. So I'm going to click on the left side of my mouse to highlight the column, and then with the right side of my mouse, I'm going to click, and this is key, I'm going to select Insert Cut Cells. I'm not going to paste, I'm inserting cut cells. And just like that, all of my SSID numbers have been moved over to this final column. Then in column AJ, the one right next to it, I'm going to give it a header. And I'm going to call this 16.6. You can call it whatever you want. I just want to know that this is where data from my other report is going to be inserted. Now, this example, I only have a few students on here, so I can easily go to this last column if I wanted to. But if I have a lot of students, it's a lot quicker if I'm over here in my SSID column, and then just how before, I hold down the Control key, and then this time I use the down arrow, and it takes me to that last cell. Because this one, underneath it, where it's blank, is where I want to be. Now here, I have my other report that I want to copy over to this report. So the same thing, I'm going to put my cursor between the A and 1, and then I'm going to double click to get the width of my cells the correct way. Then I'm going to go to the SSID number, and I want the student name. So I'm going to highlight the first SSID number and the student name. I'm going to let go of my mouse. And this time, I'm going to hold down the Control button and the Shift button. And then, holding them both down, with the arrow keys, I'm going to select the down arrow. This highlights all the fields that have data into it until it's the next blank cell. Now I'm going to copy it, and I like shortcuts in Excel, so I use the Control C to copy this information, and then I'm going to take it and I'm going to go back to my other spreadsheet over here, back in this cell, and now I'm going to paste my data. And so you can either right click on your mouse and click on paste, or I like to use the shortcut Control V to paste the data. I'm going to double click here just to make my column width the right way. So everything to this side of the report is from one data source. Everything on this side is from another data source. So now I want to see, do I have the same kids on both reports? So I'm going to highlight the column that I want to compare, and then I'm going to select conditional formatting. Now, depending on the version of Excel that you have, it might be located in a different spot than it is on my version here on the ribbon. So I'm going to select it, and then I want to use the highlight cells rule. And I want it to highlight everything that has a duplicate value. Now, as you see, it says it's going to format the cells that are duplicate, and it's going to put them all with a light red background and a dark red text. You can change it to whatever color you want, but I'm fine with the red. So I'm going to select OK. Then I'm going to go back and only be in the one cell, and I'm going to do some custom sorting. I'm going to, again, this is where it is on my ribbon in Excel, but if you have a different version, it might be located in another spot. But I'm going to select the sort and then custom sort. And from here, I'm going to select SSID numbers. And on the value, I want it to show me the cell colors. And I want anything that doesn't have a cell color to be on the top. Because remember, if it doesn't have a cell color, it's not a duplicate value, which means it's missing on one of the reports. And I want those on top. I'm going to click OK, and there we go. Andy Bernard is on report 16.6, but he's not on report 16.3. And now I can do my investigation. I hope you enjoyed this snippet and that this helps you compare any data at any time. Again, you just have to have the same value in the same column for both sets of data that you're comparing.
And look for the new series, The Adventures of Fape and SEIS, starring ace of SEIS Sheri Roberge and Fape guy John Fisher, where they cover one page in the IEP in a 1-hour virtual training every few weeks on Wednesday afternoons at 3:30. Check out the Sonoma SELPA website for more details and registration information.